Are you a nice guy? Do you consider yourself a nice guy? Well, today in this video, I want to talk about how being a nice guy actually hurts you in dating. And if you're a truth seeker, I also want to redefine the idea of a nice guy, because I think you can be kind and nice in dating, but still be attractive and congruent with who you are. Let's talk about the 4 biggest mistakes that nice guys make. And I have made all 4 of these mistakes at different points in my life, sometimes all with the same girl. The number 1 mistake a nice guy makes is this: that's not how I really feel. Back when I was just a nice guy, I couldn't articulate how I really felt about a situation in dating. For example, a girl will ask me, is it okay if we're just friends? And not knowing any better, I would say, yeah, of course, I'll be your friend. But secretly, if I actually paused for a moment and really assessed my emotions, I would have realized that, no, I like you too much to just be friends with you. And I would have told her that. What I really wanted to say is, hey, I'm not at a point in my development where I can just be friends with you. I have to go out there, learn how to attract women, and maybe I can be friends with you when I don't have this scarcity mentality. But I didn't know how to communicate it. A lot of times, nice guys also don't like arguments on a date. Be like, how's your work? Oh, cool. How are you? Oh my God, I like this too. They'll try to look for commonality without any of that push and pull. If a girl says something that I agree with, I'll be like, you know what? That's interesting. I like that too. But at some point, she's going to say something or have a different point of view. And it's okay for me to express my point of view and seek the truth of where we connect. For example, I had a conversation once where a girl was telling me, she's divorced and she's like, I believe that the right person will come along. What are your thoughts? And then I thought about it for a moment and I said, it's possible that the right person will come along. And I like that you're enjoying being single and just being happy and living it to the fullest. However, and maybe I'm biased, but I believe that everybody can make a plan for their dating life. The same way you make a financial plan to retire, that you have some sovereignty as to where your dating life is going to go and how you're going to manage the people that you're dating to find the right one. And she was like, oh, that's interesting. I never thought about it that way. So a nice guy would never say that. But because I'm a kind guy, I also want to express my point of view in a way that she can understand. So instead of just her saying something and me like, oh, I agree with this. I have a dog too. Oh, I like hiking too. It's like, this is her truth. Here's my truth. And here are some of the commonalities between our truth. Let's find it and let's understand each other, where we stand on both of them. Even if they might be different, it doesn't mean we can't be attracted to each other. It doesn't mean we can't have respect. In fact, she'll respect you more because you're able to convey, here's where I agree with you, where we have commonality, and here's where I stand on these issues, or here's how I'm thinking about these issues as my personality and my thoughts are developing about this topic. Okay? It's okay also to say how you feel when you're being offended, or if you feel like this girl's crossed the line. Earlier in my game career, I had very beautiful 2 European Swedish girls, I think, and my friend and I were gaming them. And I remember on the train, there was a bar station back, it was a BART ride back to the city, and I had left early. And then I met my friend the next day and I said, hey, what happened with those 2 gorgeous Swedish girls? And he was like, oh, I kicked them out of my house. And I'm like, why? You didn't even hook up with them? He was like, yeah, they ended up peeing on the BART and I just felt like that was so low class, I just kicked them out. And I'm like, yeah, but they were hot. I was such a newbie that because the girl was attractive, I would have put up with anything to see where it went. But he was a guy with standards. He was a guy who wasn't afraid to tell people how he felt. He's like, you know what? You peed on the BART. You're acting not so cool. You broke my boundaries. Get out of here. And he literally kicked them out, even though they were the most beautiful girls that I had the pleasure of hanging out with for a very long time. The second thing nice guys do is they negotiate. They do what we call trading X for Y. Hey, I'm gonna bring you flowers, so hopefully you all go on a date with me. Hey, I helped you move, so how about let's get dinner sometime? Oh, so you're not free on Saturday? Well, how about Sunday? I'll make some time for you. Oh, how about a kiss? No, how about just a tip? Oh, can we get a hug? So you're always negotiating. The moment you negotiate, you get on the plane of what we call logical conversations. Hey, if I do this, is it okay if you come here? No. Dating is not about negotiating or logical trades. Dating is about emotional, social value traits that are underneath the logical. If a girl says, maybe, when I ask her, do you want to continue walking? I'm not going to be like, well, if you continue walking, we can go to this store they close at 4 and we can get these 4 chocolates for free because they have a discount. I mean, that might work. What she's really looking for is, yeah, we just call it a day because, as a prince, I have many obligations I have an interview later down the street, and I have a fashion shoot. And as a princess, I'm sure you have the castle to protect. I know Mario's waiting for you, and you probably need to eat a mushroom, right? So you see how instead of logically convincing her to walk down the street with me, I'm hitting her emotions, right? I'm not negotiating with her. It's not like a business transaction. She just needs to know that, is this guy safe? Is this guy fun? Is this guy socially intelligent to make me laugh? And can I feel at ease around him and not feel like he has an agenda, right? And so you never want to get to negotiation phase. The moment you get into negotiation phase, you'll lose. Like the game is downhill from there. You want to get out of it as soon as possible. I had a client that told me recently he was on this date with this very beautiful girl and he was nervous. So he started asking her the generic questions that he asks. Are you in your PhD program at the school? What do you do for your PhD? What do you do for fun? And his words were, I could see her eyes glaze over. And then I asked her one of these interesting connection questions. What does a perfect day look like for you? And then she said, you could see her kind of like the energy shifted and she's like, oh, and she got more chatty and chirpy and the interaction went well after that. So he was like, thank you so much. And I'm like, yes, that's right. You're not negotiating anymore. You're not trading for information. You are hitting emotional triggers. You're going deeper to who she is and getting that emotional response. Think of it as like a roller coaster ride of emotional waves that all human beings have. And you're just controlling it, push and pulling it, and trying to get her to express her true self, okay? A third mistake nice guys make is no boundaries within his own sphere of influence. So, for example, nice guys, and when I was in college, I would help these girls move. And I didn't realize at the time I didn't want to help them move, but because she promised me pizza, I was like, oh, I can go have pizza with this hot girl, and maybe I'll try to game her. So I had no idea what my boundaries were. I would go on dates with girls I knew weren't right for me. I would put up with really bad behavior, hoping that I would get a hot girl because I just didn't understand my own boundaries. People that don't know who they are can't really understand where their boundaries are. And the earlier you begin this process of discovering who you are, what's important to you in life, the earlier you can stop being a nice guy. You can still be nice to people, you can still be kind to people, but you're doing it from a reference point of, this is who I am, this is where my boundaries are. I will invite you into my boundary, but I'm also gonna let you know nicely, like this is where my limits are as far as interactions go. And you enforce in a way that's kind but firm. And people will respect you for it. The fourth mistake nice guys make, they have no awareness of value as value in the sense of value to the girl, value in terms of what's valuable to women in a dating situation. For example, as an Asian guy, I would see value as like, oh, I'm gonna help this girl with her homework, so hopefully she likes me. Click, 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 click. Hey, I did your homework for you. Like me now. Now, that might be valuable to her, but it's not valuable to her in a dating situation. As a nice guy, I might think that buying her dinner is value. Well, I spent all this money, we got lobster, you got a nice dinner, that's value. So now you owe me, right? Back to trading. She doesn't owe you shit, bro, okay? What real value is to women in a dating situation are just two things. If you would break it down bare bones, first principles, just two things: attraction and connection. Is she attracted to you? Do you have this sexual tension, this pull? And does she feel comfortable and connected to you? Does she really know who you really are? These two things are the only value exchanges in dating. To convey true value in dating, you have to understand what women find attractive. Now, not every guy is born with amazing cheekbones or jawlines that I don't have, but every guy can learn to dress well. In my course, Seduce with Style, I show you how to convey true value through your style, through your behavior patterns, through the sub-communication energy fields to convey that instant attractiveness. In that course, I also talk about connection triggers and connection circuits, how to convey that attraction, get the emotional spike, but also then how to ask these questions that are scientifically proven to start the falling in love process where she feels like grounded to you. It's a grounding sequence. She feels like, oh, I understand where he's coming from. For example, imagine I walked in, I was dressed in a style that conveyed dominance and eliteness. Then as we're talking, I throw out a question like, what is a perfect day for you? Or when you were a kid, what superhero power did you wish you had and why? If you had unlimited money and could send your parents anywhere in the world for a vacation or to retire, where would you send them and why? These are questions that get her to really express who she is to me. And in response, I can communicate and tell my story to her in a way that builds connection triggers. Once you have connection triggers and attraction triggers, dating connection becomes super solid, and it's a connection that she doesn't have with any other type of guy. And over time, she almost feels like she's chasing you, or she's like, I'm compelled to get to know more about this guy. So all of this is explained in my courses. The links are below. Seduce with Style in particular, one of my favorite master courses, because not only does it work on your communication style, it helps you become a new man by completely changing your look, and you'll feel more confident, and you'll have like new behavior patterns installed that automatically hit these switches and automatically automatically override some of the nice guy behaviors that are getting you stuck. That's it for this lesson. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you're a nice guy or if you consider yourself to have nice guy qualities, let me know in the comments how they work out for you, and check out Seduce with Style and some of my other courses in the link in my bio. See you on the next one. If you're new to my channel, the reason I refer to my viewers as truth seekers is because here we don't just focus on the superficial level of dating advice. We go down to the core principles of how attraction works. Because once you understand the core principles, you can develop your own techniques and tactics that are authentic to you.